Okay, thank you. So we'll talk today about a fully compliant strong authentication server for less than $100. So you can make yourself. It will be something like that. So it's pretty nice and little. What we will just a few words about me. So I'm working in a company called Cisco Systèmes de Communication SA. It's in the French part of Switzerland. It's a 15 years old company, and we are doing security consulting services and customized development, especially for small companies. And we, sorry?
Are those your offices?
No, not yet. Unfortunately, but we are working with. And we are working in Linux and Windows solutions. We are doing some open source solutions, also some closed one. But today I talk about the open source solutions. I'm the CTO of the company. I have a Master of Science in Communication Systems, and I have done also a little bit electronics. That's why I like to mix a little bit computer science and electronics. So what is the schedule for today? First, we will see, but you know already why the regular passwords are never strong enough. But I will show you some different hardware tools that explain why the security, the passwords are not so secure. What are the different solutions for more security? I will present multi-OTP, our open source solutions. How to set up this device for less than $100. A live demo. It's always cool to have a live demo with a multiple installed on this Raspberry Pi, and at the end some questions if you are still alive. So why regular passwords are never strong enough? Same password is used for a lot of different applications. So at the beginning you have your LAN, and after a while you say, okay, I have also my email, and perhaps you have Facebook, Twitter, a bunch of applications. And you never know exactly. You go on a lot of websites and you put always the same password because who knows, you forget one. And you never know if it's the Santa Claus on the other side or perhaps not. So on bad websites, they can just steal your password and they record your password. And after they try this password at other places. For example, when you ask for an email and a password, a lot of people are using the email like Gmail, and they put the same password as Gmail. So if you are on the other side, you just can go on Gmail and log on the account. So, and I will show you, even if a lot of people are able to take your password on the internet, it's also possible in your company. For example, you know probably there is keylogger. So I have, here's a keylogger model 1. So you just put that between your computer and the PS2 keyboard, and it will record all your keys. So it's very easy. You put that in the computer. Normally the first typed characters will be the password, the BIOS passwords perhaps, and after you will have the Windows passwords. And after you will recover the key 1 week after, and you have a lot of interesting stuff on it. You have also the camera in a car key, for example. So you have a little camera there. It's not a real car key, but you can put there somewhere near a desk, and after you can see what the people are typing. Okay, this is basic hardware tools. You have some nicer hardware tools. So for example, you have the wireless keylogger. So it's even easier. You can put once your keylogger, this one, for example, which is Wi-Fi enabled. And you can say every day at 2 o'clock, you try to take this access point and you send just what was typed from the day before. So you don't need to be there physically. And you can, for example, go once a week near the building with your portable access point, and you can recover the different data that was typed. So you know now why your strong password is not good enough. You can have also some fake USB keyboard like this one, mounted in a memory stick. So for example, it's like a memory stick, but inside there is a chip that makes like a keyboard. It's more or less like what you did. And you can put some different firmware, and if the people didn't lock the computer, you can, for example, open internet, download a virus or whatever, do what you want, install some sniffer or something else. And a lot of people, if you are giving a memory key, they say, okay, I have my confidence on it, and say people, okay, no problem, poof, I put in the computer, and it just type everything very quickly. So if you don't look at your screen, you have no chance, because it's very fast. USB 2, go very fast. You have also some other tools, like for example, a false access pointer and stuff like that. So, because every of these technology exists, you will definitely have to have a more security solution for your password. So what are the different solutions for more security? We talk about two-factor authentication. You talked already a little bit about that. A daily usage for this combination of knowledge and possession factors is the ATM machine, because you have the physical ATM card and you know your personal PIN. So you have two different things. You mix everything and that's it. You can access and take some money. We have also some other solutions. For example, with no software installation, you have a password list. You know that. Probably it's a little bit old now, but a lot of banks were doing that at the beginning. You receive a password list, and each time you logged in, you take the next password, you scratch it, and the next one will be available for the next time. So this is pretty old, but it works. It could be, for example, a backup for some solutions. So you have your paper somewhere, and you have at least 10 passwords that will work if you lose your key or whatever. Okay, how works the password list? So you just put your username, your regular password, the next code on the list, and the server has a list of all different generated password, or perhaps a hash of it, and it will work like that. In the historical market leader for strong authentication was RSA, and they have their own time-based automatic generator with a secret algorithm, and they had 70% of the market in 2003. Now it's a little bit less. And in 2003, they have sold more than 25 million of devices. You heard probably that they have leaked some database content, so people are not very happy with solutions sometimes. The first open source one-time password solution that I remember was mobile OTP in 2003. It's a calculation of a hash with MD5, and it's a mix of a PIN code and the time actually going. It's an open source with more than 40 implementation, and the initial client was the Java G2ME. You see this old Nokia, you know Nokia already? Okay. The old Nokia phones, and all phones were working also with these. There is now there is for iPhones, you see there, but iPhone was only made in 2007 on Android or whatever. So it's pretty nice, but it's an open source, but not standardized. That's why it's not very used in a lot of places. But we use that at the beginning. You have also now better password things. OATH made initiative for open authentication, made a standard, and the first one was HOTP. So HOTP means HMAC-based one-time password algorithm. And with this, the code construction is based on a hash function, and you have a counter on the left. And when you click on your counter, so you have a seed, a counter, and the password depends of the counter and the special seed you make for each token. So the seed must be unique for each token, and each time you process your HMAC, you will have a new password. So how it works when you are connecting on the server. First said, okay, the last password you have used, the counters was 379. So you are the user, you click on your token, click. And perhaps you had the token in the pocket, so it clicked 3 times without logging. So you have 382. So your token is doing the mix, and your PIN code is, or the token, sorry, is 7548112. On the server side, okay, the server side know that the last one was 379, so he compute, say, the 5 next. So 5 is a window, you can change the window size. So I can compute the 380, 381, up to 384, and I check which one was, if one is equal to the token from the user, which is the case. So the server say, okay, up to now, all the passwords are used, and the next available will be the 332697. So this is how the HOTP works, and this is standardized, and so you can certify with that, and you are sure that you have interoperability between tokens and servers. So the next, as I said, the next triad tokens will be starting from 383 position. But it was a little bit complicated, because when you have the token in the pocket, sometimes you click too many times on it, or if you are very nervous, and after you are unsynchronized. and when you try to connect again, it will not work because you have a too big gap between your counter and the counter of the server, and you need to synchronize everything, and it takes a lot of time. So they also made in 2008, yes, a time-based one-time password algorithm. So it's based on the same HOTP algorithm, but now the counter is the time divided in 30 seconds or it's 60 seconds. You can choose its parameters, and the computing of the token is still the same. So you have the time divided in 30 seconds. You have your seed, which is unique per token, and you make the list. It could be the same if you have the same seed. So how it works now on the server? Okay, it's quite very easier. It's time to have your code. So you just click on it, and you are in these 30 seconds. On the server, he computes also a little bit before and a little bit after, because nobody have Swiss watches. Not everybody have Swiss watches, so sometimes you leak some minutes. So he tried different, a little bit before, a little bit after. He find the correct token, and at the end he can resynchronize it, because if he said, okay, I think the token is 2 minutes late, I know that it's the next time for this user I make plus 2 minutes. So you can authenticate and synchronize in the same time. The window synchronization can be set up individually. So when the server say that this password is the same, you just say that up to this password you cannot use them again, so people cannot try to steal your password and give your key back, and that's it. And next time it will go, we don't know where. Okay, I show you some HOTP and THTP tokens. So you know probably it's like this one. This is from Outnext or Zaxel, or you have the other version from SafeNet, and you have the little button. Both are HOTP. Or for example, you have credit cards with a display on it, or you can have also YubiKey, which is also a token. This is a bit more intelligent because you slot in a USB, and it's like a keyboard. It's like before this one, but this was the nice one. This was the bad one. Perhaps I have a nice idea. I can try to put the circuit of this one in a YubiKey. That could be nice. But with the YubiKey, you have the generator in it. You have no battery, and when you click on it, the USB power the whole stuff and will generate automatically a new token, and the token will be written directly like a keyboard. So this is a little keyboard with token generator. And of course, you have also your mobile phone. So this is the Apple one, but it works for Android and even on BlackBerry. You know BlackBerry? Some time ago it was some password. You have also some other solution like SMS tokens. So first the guy connect and say, okay, I'm user A, and you receive an SMS like I did right before to have my key for the Wi-Fi. And after I receive my token, I have to send my username and password and my token. The firewall, for example, check if the SMS is the correct one by the OTP server, and if it's okay, I can have access to my server or my different services. So let's talk now a little bit about our open source solution, which is called multi-OTP, for multiple OTP. The history of the multi-OTP package is in 2009, we make a proof of concept by implementing the multi-OTP protocol in PHP. In 2010, we implement the basic TOTP and HOTP protocol. And in 2011, we do a workshop during ASF in Yverdon. It was an application security forum. In 2012, we have a wider development of the community, and we have a lot of feedbacks, even from China. And in 2013, we have added a lot of new functionality, like SMS tokens, scratch password leads, QR code provisioning. I will show you that later. Client-server implementation with local cache, because some people use that in very special ways, so we develop that. We have also MySQL backend support, and we are compliant for OATH certification now. We are not certified because you have to pay a lot to be certified, but we are compliant with, and we have made a commercial product which is certified. So the library is the same, so it will work also. Why did we develop the multi-OTP package? So at the beginning it was because no free and easy to use solution exists for small companies, because we are doing consulting in computers for small companies, and it was just too expensive to have this kind of solutions. A lot of existing commercial products needs a Windows server and a specific Windows server with specific versions, etc. So it was very difficult to install it, or people don't have a server or not the right one, or a firewall that cut all the access. So it was very difficult. And existing products needs also a lot of resources. I don't know why, because you just have to check some stuff a few seconds, but as they have at the back end, they have probably SQL Server or Oracle or whatever, so it takes a lot of resources for nothing. So why we did that open source? Just because we receive, in this way, we receive a lot of feedbacks and proposals from the users. Security issues are analyzed by other developers, so you have a lot of feedback too. It's very nice. And users can be sure that there is no Trojan and other NSA-friendly tools in the code. So they can just have a look at the code. And now perhaps you ask, but why did you do that in PHP? Because there is so many other nice languages like C, C++, assembler, I don't know. So we did that in an open source PHP class, and also everything embedded in only one file. Of course, when we develop, we have several files, but after we put everything together. Just because the people sometimes, when they are not very, they have not a high level, we just try to make PHP, they don't know where to put the files and where to do the required, etc. So we put only one file. It's OS independent. And it works also on any web server, including in shared hosting. So you can have, from now, you can have a strong authentication server on your website, on any web shared hosting. Data are stored in flat files at the beginning, but you can also choose a MySQL database now. So that was also by design, because we want to make a very cheap device after, like this one. So if you put, I don't know, Oracle or MySQL, it will not work so much. And if you use, for example, SQLite, which is a database in only one file, and you remove the power at not the good moment, perhaps all your database is crashed, because it's a very small device. So we just decided to make flat files. All methods are implemented in command line tool. So we have a separate command line tool, which includes the library. And you can do what you want with this one. It's compatible with the centralized open source authentication server FreeRadius, which we use, and it's also available in Windows. The system administrator can create scripts in order to handle the package and to create users. If you have a list of users, you just make all your lines, one line per user, and you can create all the users you want. Command standard are supported, so we are doing mobile OTP, which was the first algorithm, but also HOTP, TOTP. We do SMS tokens and also scratch passwords list, which is nice to recover, like we discussed during the post. HOTP and TOTP software tokens can simply be configured by flashing a QR code. So we are generating a QR code like Google in order to provision your token. And hardware token definitions can also be imported. So for example, if you have this kind of tokens, you can import the files, and after that, the seeds of your tokens is in the server, and you can use your hardware tokens too. So you have different of one. At the beginning, we try with hotnet definition files, which was a proprietary files, SQL files, so I parse the SQL. We have safenet definition files, and now we do any standard PSKC files. The stupid simple web GUI has nothing to do there. It's a new feature. Under Windows, it's installed in 3 minutes. So if you have a Windows, you don't need a server. Even Windows XP is working. So you just surf on multiotp.net. You download the last version. Yeah.
You most probably don't want to run it from a Windows XP box.
Exactly, but you can. Right, you can take your XP box and you can put it in the DMZ without any connection to the internet. So you download the last version. So upgrade to Windows 8, perhaps. It works also. You unpack the file in the C multi-OTP folders. You can also unpack it in C Bergen, but it's more common to use the right name. You can read optionally the README file if you want, but it's not really necessary because you have all the steps there. And after you have on Windows to install the FreeRadius service. So we make a little script just to install that, and that's it. So you have your server up and running on your Windows machine. To create a user on the server side, so it's very easy to do that, because in the command line you just say multi-OTP fast create, and you put the name of the user, and the user is successfully created or updated. And after, you can save the QR code of this user, or of this token. So you type multi-OTP minus QR code, the name of your user, and the file where you want to put the QR code. And the QR code is created, and that's it. So it's even simpler with the Raspberry Pi edition, because I make a little web GUI, so it's easier to do that. But it's quite easy. And at the end, you have to send the QR code to the user. Of course, you need to use a secure channel. If you send that per email, it's not so nice. On the other side,
You could use Snapchat, you know.
yeah. You talked about. On the other side, how to provision the token is very simple. First, you install Google Authenticator if you don't have it, and you scan the QR code, and that's it. You have your new user, and based on this token, it works. Probably it works.
It's not yours.
That's a QR code. It should be.
Perhaps I have to make more zoom, but it works because I tried before. And you can install it on Android, iOS, BlackBerry, and if you have other authentication solutions, perhaps it's not possible to flash the QR code, so you need to take the parameters, which is provided also. Okay, the text was there. Token is ready, and it works. On the server now, to authenticate the user, it's very easy. You say multi-OTP, you put the username, and you put the token that we receive, and you receive token accepted or token refused. Or we can try, for example, to the same token, and of course, it's refused. But we will show that in the demo, because now you don't trust me. And you can also create some scratch passwords lists. So it's also easy. You say minus scratch lists and type the name of the user, and you will receive a bunch of, here 10, but you can configure it, a lot of scratch passwords. So it works together, so you can have a token and a scratch passwords for recovery purposes. At the end, you can also, for example, import hardware tokens, as we said, so it's easier too. Multi-OTP, import, and you put your file, and you will receive the list of the different hardware tokens that were imported. And after, you can link the user with any token, and it says OK. And after, at the end, I enable the prefix pin to have the real two-factor authentication. OK. So I know I put 1, 2, 3, 4, but it was just for the sample. You can put more than 4 pins, so it's independent. You can also put alphanumerical numbers. Typical usage, so you can have a firewall there, and you have your token on your phone or as a hardware token. And after, you just log on your firewall, and you have access to your server. And the server, as we can see just after, could be a Raspberry Pi. So how to set up a device for less than $100, which is the key today. First, we choose the hardware. So after seeing a little bit what's going there, I found a very, very cheap server, which is a Linux, where we can install Linux. So Raspberry Pi is $35, and you have no OS license to pay, because you can use Debian Linux or others. It's widely distributed, and you have a big community support. It's micro USB powered, so you don't even need to have power. I put that in my computer directly. The CPU is 700 megahertz, but it's ARM based, so it's not you have not 64 bits, but it's still okay for what we want to do. And the RAM is 512 megabytes, and the storage is just a SD card. So you cannot see. Okay, we see it here because I put a little one. Okay, so you take your Raspberry Pi, $35. You take your SD card, okay, $10. okay, you add multi-UTP on it, otherwise it will not work. Probably you will need also a real-time clock, which is about $15. It works with a Raspberry Pi. It's just because if you have made TOTP tokens and you are not connected to the internet, you will not have the real time on your machine, and it will be very difficult to be in the right windows because you will start probably in 2000. So that's why it's perhaps better to have a real-time clock. So there is different kinds. We support, in the library currently, we support 2 of them. I think there is only 2 on the markets. You need a nice enclosure because it's nicer, you see. And at the end, you need optionally a power supply if you don't have or most of the time the firewall now have a USB port to put, for example, a 3G key. So just use this one to power your server. It's enough, 5 watts. Okay, and okay, I was lying. For $80, you have your server. Okay, so perhaps a live demo with a Raspberry Pi. So I started already the machine, and okay, what we need is the GUI and perhaps also something to test the radius. So this is the radius client. Here is the Raspberry Pi. So first, I need to log in. So it's a very basic interface. But it's easier for me to do a demo here like with the command line. Oh, sorry, you don't see it. That's the problem. Strange. It's a feature of PowerPoint. Very nice. Can I close this? Okay. Here we go. So as I told, this is the web GUI, very simple. And here we have our, for the next step, we have our radius client, just to see if everything is okay. So at the beginning, I make the login. Default password is 1234. Okay. And okay, I can change the password also. To put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we can create a user. Sorry. So let's say we create the user Bergen. I say create the user. So it makes everything automatically, so the minus blah, blah, blah. And now the idea is to provision an account, so you will be able to use your phone. So I just print the configuration file. And we have a little template, and all templates, we give some information. So I have generated automatically a pin, 5212. The name is Bergen. It says blah, 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 a lot of stuff. You can read that later, perhaps. The interesting thing is it said that, okay, you will have to have a QR code reader, okay. Second, you have to install Google Authenticator, so you have the QR code for doing that. And at the end, you have to provision your token. So I don't know if somebody have Google Authenticator. There is no virus in it. So do you have it, or do I have to flash it? Aha. So I will flash it. Because for the rest of the demo, it's important to have the good code. Here we go. So you remember, we just have to scan up the QR code. That's it? No? I have big fingers. That was no. Okay. Good. Okay. You heard. And I say okay. So now I have the user Bergen here. And okay, we can do more, but I think it's not very useful for the demo. One is enough. And now let's go on the radius client. So I will simulate what our firewall is doing. So the only thing is that I don't remember the pin code.
5212.
Very nice. 5212. Okay. So here we go. 5212. The password, and after I need to put the code. It's 132471. It's okay for 30 seconds. It's written here, but as we have a window delay in the server, I can still talking for 2 minutes before trying the password, but I will do that right now because I have nothing else to do. So I send the request. In fact, I need to click correctly on the button. Okay, and you see there, okay, it's the server which says response access accept. So I'm very happy. I will just try to send the second time the same password. Of course, it says access reject. Okay, so this is how this server works. So nothing more, because you just have to create users, and after you just have to check if the users are working well. I think I have a last slide for the questions. That is a nice slide. So okay. So do you have any questions about that, or something that is not clear? Yes. Wait a second. Oops. Yes.
Do we provide the possibility to use only QR code, or, for example, Google Authenticator provides entering the authenticator configured with it some string of...
Ah, you didn't see that, haha, because it was there, but it was under. So, so the question was, do we only provide QR codes, or can we use something else? So I didn't score up to the end of the paper, but okay, it's too wide. Ah, it's still the same stuff. Okay, so I close this one. Come on. And you see here, you have the algorithm, you have the seed, the number of digits, and the time interval. That was your questions?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
You said that your time window was 2 minutes. Can you also configure that to something else?
Yeah, you can configure, in fact.
You can lower it to 10 seconds if you're crazy, and you can maximize it to 1 hour.
In fact, 10 seconds is not good, because your token is every 30 seconds, generated every seconds, and after you must be sure that it's synchronized with your device, because the time you read the things and you write, it's perhaps more than 10 seconds that you will never be able to log in. So, but you
have the configuration.
yeah, you can configure that, and if it's event-based, you can also fix the window of the event. Yeah. Yes.
In your cheap Raspberry Pi
Yeah.
setup, you said you wanted a real-time clock.
Yeah.
But if you connect it to the internet and have NTP, you don't need that, right? Or
Yeah, no problem. There is I have already configured NTP on the machines.
Yeah.
So if you have internet, it's not a problem. And it configures automatically the real-time clock if you have one. So the next time if you remove internet, you still have the clock. But some people say, okay, it's strong authentication server. We don't want to put it with access to the internet. That's why they put that in the DMZ. And in this case, you need a real-time clock, because if you stop it, you don't have time anymore. Other questions? Okay. Yeah.
What is the default window in your program?
Sorry, what is it?
What is the default window for OTP from the server side?
The different window.
For OTP.
What is the different Windows size?
What is the default?
What is the default Windows? I think I put 600 seconds for the time-based, and I think it was 50 for the event. But you can change that in a configuration file.
But is it some security ground under this, or?
No, because at the big 300 seconds, just because the token can be unsynchronized, especially for hardware tokens. If you are using software tokens, like with the phones, normally you can put that at 60 seconds or perhaps 120 seconds, because normally all the networks are synchronized. Okay, so perhaps you can just change that, but it's just one line. Yes?
you said something about the server synchronizing if
Yeah.
the hardware token was drifting.
Yeah.
Does your software do that
Yeah.
automatically?
Well, in fact, it's very simple, because you calculate the real token, and after you take the first one, the previous one, the second one, the second before, and when you find it, you say, okay, it was 2 minutes. Okay, so I put a delta from 2 minutes in the configuration for the user, and the next time it will be directly to.
And that's specified per user.
Yeah, of course, because you don't share the same token normally. good point.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
More questions?
Have you looked into integration with other radio service? Try that out?
If I tried with other radio services? Yeah. So I had, for example, a radio service called Tech Radius on Windows, which is free. They have a free version and also a commercial version, and it works also. So I have worked with this guy under Windows because the free radius was not working at the beginning with Windows. And for the little story, they don't have any external call for to make authentication. So we sponsored the development for that. In fact, one of my customers sponsored the development for that. And so we were able to make a strong authentication on Windows with another radio server. But now I'm happy to have the free radius because so I have the same configuration file, so it's easier. You can use it on Linux and on Windows. But normally, if you can call an external file, it works. Yeah. Yes?
Can one user have multiple valid devices?
If the people can have multiple devices, so the only it's only one token for the moment and a scratch password lists and also the SMS passwords. So I think it's enough to have backups. But I didn't currently I didn't choose to have different tokens for the same people. It's just a choice. I mean, at the beginning I was thinking about yes, no. I decided no. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
thank you, André.
You're welcome.